Hello, everyone. We are live. Thank you all so much for joining us. It's the last Monday in the month of July, and all through the month of July, we have been talking on finance, on wealth, on well being, insurance, savings, growth, everything to help us position so that we finish 2026 strong. We have a private community on WhatsApp that we do follow up with, but here on social media, especially on YouTube. So if you're watching us on Instagram or Facebook, that's not where the real deal is happening. Get into our YouTube channel at rev360.tv. While you are there on YouTube, like and subscribe. All right. I want to specially invite every one of you to join me on Friday. This Friday, the 31st of July, I will be hosting Realtors for a get together in our office in Magodo, Lagos Mainland. It's a free event, it's an open house just to connect with you. My special guest on today's particular episode is Chinyere, distinguished, our very one, it's not very one, our awesome, our phenomenal Chinyere distinguished. Yes, our phenomenal Chinyere distinguished. She's my guest on today's show again because we had such a great time last time. We were like, how can we just do it once? Let's do it again. One of my blessings from this 25 days fast boost, which is essentially a media reset, and it's supposed to act as a media reset for you. One of the blessings I've gotten from this event is getting to know a few of my team leads better from the conversations that we've gotten to have here. So, Chinri, love the setup, love the way you're looking, love the glasses, love everything. It's giving what it's meant to give. And I'm happy to have
Thank you
you
so
here.
much,
Today, we're
ma'am.
discussing real assets versus paper assets. And if you have any
Papers.
question concerning real assets, if you have any questions concerning paper assets, please just, you know, stay tuned till the end. If you have never gotten a paper asset before, or you've never gotten real asset, or you don't understand what the difference is, then stay with me till the end. Shinyeri, on the other hand, is an investor who has done both real asset and paper asset, and she is a top selling um, wealth advisor who guides people into real assets, even as many of them might be thinking of paper assets. So, thank you so much for joining me, Chinyere. Are you doing again? How
Good
has it been
evening,
since the
ma'am.
last time?
It's been
What's the
amazing.
feedback
Thank you
been
for
like?
having. Interestingly, today I had a call with somebody who watched the. Okay, he said he joined live, but he just reached out to me over the weekend. We talked today because he wanted to understand Rise Vest better. It's been awesome. Then I also shared with my contacts, and they said, in fact, because of it, my husband had to put money in Rise Vest. This is what I've been preaching for 4 years. Eventually put money in Rise. So that the feedback has been awesome, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be back here today. Thank you for having me,
All right.
ma'am.
So I just noticed that I did not even I didn't publish your post your video on Instagram. So something happens on Instagram when we finish our live video. I need to go into the archive and manually publish it for it to reflect on my Instagram page, and I would ensure I do that. Don't worry. This is Nigeria. Light goes and come. We'll be all fine. And if it is the children
God.
having fun, we'll still be fine. We can see your face and all is good. What I would like you to do though is, um, if you're watching this live, please share the live stream content with your friends and family, because today we're talking about real, um,
Assets and
real
paper
assets
assets.
versus paper assets. And so, if you have any question or concerns about it, let me know. All right, um, Chinyere, over to you. Let me hear from you. How would you separate real assets from paper assets?
Okay, so the I think the name typically like answers the questions. So real assets are things you can touch. Like when you hear real estate, you can touch it.
Mm,
It's tangible. Something that is written in a paper. For instance, let me use something we all can do. So if someone gives you a check, the check is money, but it's right. But if is cash, you can already feel that this is money, unlike when you are giving a check to go and cash in the bank. So real assets that you have, you can touch like real estate, and paper assets are things like stocks and bonds. is the value that is written, that is what it represents. So that's like the layman explanation of real assets and paper assets. And with that, you can already see that real assets, they are not as easily liquidable, that you cannot easily change it to cash, unlike
Mm,
paper assets. For instance, if you want to sell real estate, it will take you more time than if you want to sell your bond or your stock. So that's like
yeah.
I'm just trying to explain to the layman. This is not for those
I
that
love
are
it.
financial experts.
Our goal is
Thank
to
you.
make it simple. So I love the simplified explanation, and that's because over the
Is it
past
just me? The network
21,
is dragging.
yeah, but I can hear you clearly, so you're good.
Okay,
I think it is
thank you.
delayed in you hearing me, but I can hear you clearly. With
Okay.
For the past 21 days, in the total of 27 days of 2020, July 2026, we've been sharing, and we wanted to really keep it practical because we realized that sometimes when you overcomplicate the breakdown on financial principles, you create distance um, between what is applicable, and it becomes really technical. And we don't want that in any form. So what I'm going to say is definitely, I like the simple explanation of paper asset. And I think that a lot of people um, I think we have expectations of what real assets can be and expectations of what assets could be. And so when it comes to real asset and assets, do you think which one is right or one is wrong? Because
Do I think what?
do
I
you
didn't
feel
get that,
one is
ma'am.
right or one is wrong? I'm a bit on I'm very partial. Everyone that knows me knows that I'm partial to real assets because I just feel real estate is a lot more
Dependable.
tangible. Yes, and dependable, tangible, dependable. But you know, your paper asset, which is those shares that we tend to buy. Many people buy shares, we buy stock, we buy bonds, we buy mutual funds. Cash equivalents, all those places. When we put our money into the Cowrywise, the Rice Vest, the Invest
Bamboo.
Niger, Bamboo, all those platforms, what you're doing is buying paper assets. It's weird. Before, it used to literally be paper. But because of technology, it's not even paper anymore. It's like you are buying virtual assets. Before, when you go and buy it, maybe you go to the stockbroker's office and say, "Oh, I want to buy stock." They will give you paper, which is why they call it paper assets. Or they will
True.
give you bonds, like you will sign it and you have the documents. So, or you have the mutual. But now, literally, our money just
Online.
moved from our account into space.
Their
It
platform.
is inside their platform is space, and we go there and say, "Oh, my money has increased," and we feel good, as compared to real estate, which is actually real products, real life, items that I am very partial about. But like you mentioned, when it comes to paper assets, it is very liquid, and that's the advantage. One of the key advantages of paper assets is the fact that the moment you need cash, it can turn to cash. It might not be at the value you put into it, though. Let's put it out there before somebody will now quote us to say, "Oh, TMO said paper asset is liquid. It is a good thing." Hear me. It's liquid, meaning that it can easily convert to cash. But you can put in, let me just say, 100,000 naira to buy some paper asset. And when you want to liquidate it, you're not able to get 100,000. What you're getting is 50,000 because it devalued, or you broke the investment timeline, that you are losing value in your money. Or you might be lucky that when you want to liquidate, you are getting double the amount of money depending on how well the market is doing. So there's also that volatility. um there's that volatility that is affiliated with
Paper assets.
paper assets that we must put into the consciousness of people who are interested in understanding both the real asset and the paper assets. Now, when it comes to real assets, it's real estate is the first key real asset, but minerals are also real assets. The Your gold is a real
Gold,
asset because
diamond.
it's something you can touch. So I think it's extremely important that we understand real asset is not only real estate. So when I say I'm partial to real assets, I mean real estate is not necessarily all real assets. My partiality is tied to real estate, not because it's my business, but because I understand how safe and profitable and steady it is. It doesn't have the quantum of risk that you have with and the volatility of gold. Gold can go and come down. You can have issues of silver, precious metals, everything precious, all metals, crude oil, they're all real because they can be touched. So the real is
Tangible.
this is something you can touch, tangible assets that you currently have. They are also less vague. You know, when we talk about stock, somebody was like, no, stock is like gambling. Because today on the show, we're discussing betting. And I was like, if you buy stock, what are you buying? If you buy derivatives, what are you buying? You are essentially gambling. I say, I agree. You are not gambling, but you are taking a risk. It's just a risk in people's ability to effectively manage their companies to bring you growth. So it's a risk, but it's not gambling. Because somebody was trying to draw the conclusion of when I invest into trading in all these commodities, I am essentially also betting and gambling that the company will do well. They are different. But let's not digress into the issue of betting or gambling. Just in case you are watching and you are thinking betting and gambling is an investment, hello, we have come too far in this media research for anybody to be considering that betting or gambling
Yeah.
is any form of asset. It is not. Putting money into all those platforms is not any form of asset. It cannot in any way guarantee you returns. Most likely, it will guarantee you a heartbreak because life would happen to you. You will be heartbroken when you realize that your money has entered into, you will try again later. So, real assets versus paper assets. Where is your heart, Chinyere? Where is your heart?
Okay,
Because I know
I'm
you are
close to
playing in
you.
both areas.
I'm close to you. Of course, it's important to diversify your portfolio, but like you, I
Mm.
favor real estate, which is a real asset. But I also wanted to add that real assets are not just the real estate and the minerals. You also have infrastructure. For instance, if you have an equipment that people can hire, it is part of your real asset. So for instance, if you have something as simple as this, what they call this projector, both the
Mm-hmm.
screen and the box, that is an asset. People that rent it out make money from it. The way you make money from rentals, you can use that as an asset. Because I remember when I was living I have a friend that runs that business and he's big, like he's a multi-millionaire, and he started from there before he diversified into real estate. In fact, he said he was going to own a land in all the states of Nigeria before 40. He's in his early 30s now, and as at the last count, which was like 2 years ago, he already had a plot or a land, because I don't know, he doesn't really like buy one plot in the state. He has a land in at least 23 states in Nigeria. So it's about
That is such a goal.
having a plan. So
Chinyere,
he
just
started
pause.
from renting projector screen and all of that, and he is able to buy real estate with it. So I just wanted to point it out that people will think I need to have money for a land. If you have an equipment that people can hire, it is an asset you can use to increase your income. I don't know the network. I don't know if you can hear me. It's as if it's just freezing and then
I
it will
can
release
hear
again.
you well. You are flowing, but I think you are having challenges hearing me, but I can hear you well. I wanted to pause you when you spoke about the goal to have how land in every state in Nigeria before 40. Omo, that is the kind of goal I like to hear. So let me put it into different why I find it exciting. I love when people share goals with me that challenge me to feel like I'm not doing enough. I can expand what I believe is possible. I have a goal to have houses in every continent. I want to be like, oh, I have a property in Asia. I have a property in every continent, Australia, every continent, so that I'm able to earn in every currency across all the
Currency,
yes, all the
nations
continents.
of the
So
world.
yeah, so I feel like This is my kindred spirit, somebody that totally connects and vibes with me on the level of we are not here to play small. We are here to dominate. That's what the Bible says. We are here to take over. So we're not going to just say, I want land in Lagos. Oh, I'm from Port Harcourt. I want land in Port Harcourt so that I can feel like I'm from Enugu. I am achieved greatness because I now have a bungalow in Enugu. Why? The world is bigger than your local government. So go into the world,
True.
and dominate. So I love that. And you see, when we have conversations like this, we are also sowing seeds in the minds of everyone watching to believe in the possibility. That 20-something-year-old watching, that 30-something-year-old watching, even the 40-something-year-old watching can set a goal for our 50th or his 50th and start saying, by the time I'm 50, by the time I'm 40, by the time I'm 30, by the time I am this, I want to achieve A, B, C, D. That's why we stay in rooms like this. This is a virtual room with the goal of expanding our mind to finish 2026 strong. But beyond 2026, we are even receiving goals that are like decade related goals, that we can look forward to. So thank you so much for sharing that briefly. And I took it over to now turn it into a full-fledged topic, but no, we won't digress. We're still talking about real assets. And I love that you mentioned the projector story as a real asset because people don't take it seriously. My communication skill is a real asset because it is something that earns me money. I'm able to talk in different places and I earn money. Our cameras, our lights that we have in our office. When I was a makeup artist, I was buying those cameras and lights as assets that were earning me money. So I think that when we talk about assets, anything that is tangible, that is an infrastructure, real estate, other things that are tangible that can earn you money becomes a viable asset that you can use to grow your wealth. So I love the projector. I love that we can use cameras. People, they say your house is an asset and your house can be a liability. If your house is bringing you income, is an asset. If it is not bringing you income, it is a
It's a
liability.
liability.
So there are asset classes. A car can be a real asset and a car can be
That's
a liability. So it depends on if the car is generating income for you. My car currently just consumes money every day in fuel to move me around. Fine, because it is making me mobile, but it is not an asset in terms of it cannot generate me income. It can't produce
income.
cash flow for me. And I want to give everybody here an assignment to go and reevaluate everything that you currently have as an asset. Because based on our definition today, I am sure that somebody watching us will start redefining a few things that they currently have, and they would start dividing it properly into assets or non-assets. So I want everybody watching to catalog everything they have and break it down into assets, real assets, or paper assets, and the assets you also plan to acquire. What else do you have for us, Chinwe?
Okay, so I love when you talked about that your communication skill is also an asset. I wanted to just put a little more my own idea to that because remember in our last conversation we talked about insuring and you mentioned that JLo insured her butt and footballers insured their feet and all of that. And it just reminded me that our skills are asset, which is why if you do not have enough money to either buy real asset or paper asset, yourself, your mind, your knowledge is your like you are your first asset and you are the biggest real estate, biggest real asset beyond any form of real asset you can talk about. Because why you when you mentioned that, I just remember that I've literally made money from everything I can do. When Facebook came out, people have paid me to help them create Facebook accounts. People have paid me to help them create Gmail. Now I'm doing graphics design with AI. And like the last job I got to do is in six figure just to do AI design. The truth is that the more the more skills you acquire, the more you can earn from it because there are a million and one people who cannot do that. So you being able to do it is you becoming an asset. And of course, when you make that income, you can now use it to buy because what is an asset? Something that generates money for you. So your
Definitely.
knowledge generates money for you, either as a side hustle, as a full-time job, as a consultancy work, as this talk we are talking. If imagine a platform that I get invited to speak and I get paid for, just like TMO, it's paid to be a speaker virtually and in person. This is an asset. So I am an asset. So if you're listening to us and I realize that you're an asset and every skill you have today, you can be paid for it. And it is a tangible asset. It's not what the government will value and devalue tomorrow. You are the one that can put a price on yourself as an asset. Oh, I'm charging 5 million to speak for 30 minutes. I'm charging 100,000. It's how you place yourself. So it is really key that you realize that you are the first real asset. I thought to spotlight that.
Thank you so much. And you see, the world is changing so fast that your asset skills also need to stack up at that same pace. I am so impressed that you have been able to monetize your phenomenal investment into AI picture graphics because
design.
I have seen that change. I've seen you invest time to understand it. And I have seen that in our same organization, my wonderful Rep 360 team, there are people that did not invest the time to acquire that skill and upgrade that skill, and it's accessible to everybody. But some people invested the time to make themselves assets. And I love that you spoke about self-development as an asset. I'll dig a bit deeper into it. So you all know we sell real estate in Rep 360. Chinyere and I sell real estate, right? But here is what you just heard from our conversation. Both of us are earning money from other skills that we have. I earn from communication. She's also earned from teaching social media skills. She has earned from our AI graphics design project. She has earned from editing, copywriting, and she's able to use these skills that she has within herself to build relationships that then end up becoming customers for real estate.
Absolutely.
They help sell the value that she carries. So you can be watching me right now and be thinking, oh, TMO is all about acquiring real estate. You know, over and over again, she has said she's partial to real estate, so that she can market her land. Hello, yeah. If you don't buy, it's sorry for you. If you buy, congratulations to you. But the goal of our conversation is to help you to grow. And if you know me and you don't understand that now, I don't think you know me at all, actually, because if you know me, you know that my focus is on helping everyone around me to grow. And I am sold out to how limitless our potential are. So let me now highlight that if you don't have money for land, you have money to learn a skill. You have money to perfect a skill. You have money to invest into yourself. You have at least time. And the time you spend on acquiring knowledge changes who you are and increases the opportunity window for you. So if you're watching and you feel, I don't have the money to buy real assets, I don't have money to buy paper assets, you have the time to invest in you as an asset. And the more you become an asset, the more you make money that will enable you to buy real as well as paper assets. So thank you so much for taking us into that angle. We're not planning to go there. If you're just joining, this is our day 21 where we're discussing real assets versus paper assets. And I'm talking to Chinyere Distinguished, my very wonderful head of strategy, media. Like, here is a bundle of talent for us at Rep 360. And as you've heard, she does many other things, which I fully understand, approve, and support. Because she's disciplined to manage it well. She's disciplined to manage it well. I also feel that in our conversation earlier, I mentioned the fact that I'm hosting a few people on the 31st of July. That's Friday in our office in Magodo, and I believe you all should register. Just chat with Antonia. She's among the people that you can reach out to if you want to know more about our product. I would also put the number in the caption if you are interested in joining us this Friday. Then, of course, we have real estate products. So if you are on the fence of real assets, we have tons of real assets for you. that you can start with a deposit of 500,000 naira and you can plug in at 120 million naira. So it just depends on how much money you have. We got you covered across multiple countries. We have you covered. So Thierry, can you read the question on the screen?
Said, do you have a book on these things? On which of them now? That
So I
is
have the
from
Mastering the Money game.
Alfred.
Yes, we have the book
Okay.
Mastering the Money Game. Josephine, please highlight the Mastering the Money Game contact. If you want to understand money, you want to understand investment, then you should be reading the book Mastering the Money Game. I mentioned it a few days back in our episode that Dr. Lumide said you should read the book to the number of your age. If you are 40, you should have read 40 books on money. If you are 30, you should have read 30 books on money. It might feel cumbersome, like, how can I read 30 books on money? How can I read 25 books on money? Like, I don't understand. That is the reason you are broke. Anyway, let's continue. You might even make money and not know how to multiply the money, which is why you should read books to the tune of your age
Age.
and continue reading as much as possible. So if you want to know more about some of the things we've spoken about, which is real asset, paper asset, and even generally concerning assets, concerning money, concerning how to invest, concerning discipline, concerning sacrifice, then you should pay attention and buy my book. Buy my book. It is Mastering the Money Game. I also
You're
have my book
frozen on
called,
my end.
but I can
Okay.
hear you loud and
Never.
clear. So you don't worry, just chill. Whatever is the network going on your side, it just glitches me.
Honestly, I don't
But
know.
you are good. But you are good, honestly. I keep hearing you all the time, and for me, I'm grateful for that. Um, Back to our real assets concerning our paper assets. Do you have any like ratio you use in doing your classification of how much to put into each
Okay,
asset
because
class?
I do. It's actually it's so obvious that I favor real asset, and even currently, I don't even think. Okay, on Rises, I have an 80/20. So 80 is for real estate, then
Mm.
20% is for fixed deposit. And currently, I don't have any other. Okay, I could say that all my money on piggy vest, because before I used to have real estate on my piggy vest, but currently they're all on paper assets, which over time I still eventually move them to rise because
Mm. Mm.
I use piggy vest to stack up my money. Then when it gets to a
Then you
certain
are now.
level, I move it to, yes, I move it to rider. So but basically it's 80/20. I use 80%
Okay.
for my real
Real
estate
estate.
because most of my savings are for long term. That is another thing. Because real estate is not as liquidable as paper assets, and also is better for if you want to get more return. There was something you said in one, I can't remember the exact day, but you mentioned it that if something guarantees the return, it's naturally low risk. It can go,
Mm.
the interest potential is not as
It's
high as
half.
if it is not guaranteed,
Yeah.
right? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
capped exactly. So that is the reason that I do more of 80% of real estate. For the other 20%, that's where I have my emergency fund. That's where I have my annual savings for rent, which I know that is really short term, right? So that
Mm.
is what I do with my 20% paper assets because my money must be growing. So the ones that are long term is in real estate, and short term and even middle term is just under that 20%.
Okay. Thank you so much. I also have so I do have bias for real estate, I do. But in my real estate buyers, I also use the like you use you said that you said you use
Eighty
piggyvest to
twenty.
save up your money. Piggyvest to save up your money.
Okay.
I use the money market in multiple ways to gather my money together. So whatever I want to do, and for me, my real estate is like more physical assets. So if I want to buy a house, I expect that to buy the house would require me to have this lump sum money. I'm not going to wait until I have the lump sum money. I would save my money in a high interest yielding money market or thereabouts. And then once my money hits a particular threshold, I transfer that money into my
The house you want to buy.
my
Physical
house that
assets.
I want to buy, or my physical tangible asset. But even when I do the assets on the platform and I'm investing on the platform, like when I do RiseVest, I actually tilt my money into real estate. But I'm not as high as 80%. And I'm a bit like, chinyere, 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 chinyere,
It's
chinyere,
raining
chinyere,
here.
chinyere. So
It's
I know
raining here. It's beginning to
I can
affect
hear the
network
sound of
even
the
more.
rain. Yes, I can hear the sound of the rain. But I am going to go back into my RiseVest and see if I can open up another investment that is more real estate than what I currently have. What I currently have is like a 60% real estate investment. Then the other one is just purely real estate, but 60%. So I have two investments. One is long term, and the second one is every year. So the money matures, I reinvest it, but I ensure that it's something that becomes accessible. So by January, it becomes accessible to me. It's not locked in perpetuity like the second one. And I always try to maintain that balance. So thank you so much for highlighting that. Very, very important. Meanwhile, the rain falling on your end is making a lot of noise, which is the blessing of the season. So we're not going to complain. We're not going to complain. It's part of life. You cannot stop rain from falling, right? So let's get into our conversation, back into our conversation of real assets and paper assets. Aside from the fact that you can build assets generally from self-development, paper assets might prove to be an easy um, entry into investment because of all the fintechs we have. We have so many fintechs that I also patronize about four of them actually. Am I sure it's just four? I'm at least I think I have five fintech investment apps that I'm currently actively using. Currently actively using five of them. So I would advise anyone, if you feel I don't have enough money to buy land or buy house, start saving with a fintech app. There are several of them. We're not ambassadors for any of them, but there are customers who just find it comfortable and then we're recommending them. So I know I use Cowrywise, I use she uses PiggyVest, we both use RiseVest. She uses Bamboo, I use Cardinal Stones, I use Invest Niger, and these are some of like the platforms that I'm currently using. I also use Genius by PettySave. It is a more liquid invest savings platform. You just save. It's just save. And like rental income savings right now, Genius by PettySave is giving me 20% on every money I put there. So I'm totally sold out for Genius because many other platforms will not give me 20% on, even if I drop as little as 50,000 naira, I get 20%. So for me, that was the winner for Genius. Because you know what happened to me, Chinwe? After our last conversation, and that's the thing about me, I learned from everybody. I've learned so much from Chinwe. Our conversation, I'm on RiseVest because of Chinwe. And so what we did was, when she mentioned in our last meeting, if you did not watch it, go and watch it. It's on YouTube, Rep 360 TV. You will see that she mentioned that she has some apps, and on some particular apps, the return on investment is higher than other apps. And because she knows that the return on investment is higher than other apps, so some apps will tell you if you save 1 million before you can get, you need to save 1 million naira before you can get you need to save 1 million before you can get 20%. Some apps will say you need to save 5 million before you can get 20%. I did not even know that. So what I did was I went to, because you mentioned it, Thierry, I went to go and check where all my cash investments are and how much return I was actually getting on them. And I realized that my regular PettySave account with Genius by PettySave, I could get 20% on saving 50,000 naira. That was how I told everybody in TVC, all the makeup artists, our camera people. I was like, which app are you using? Oh yeah, move to PettySave. Genius by PettySave is going to give you 20% just so that they will get more return on their investment. And that was only because our last meeting, you made me go and read to realize that it's not the same money you get from all of them. Some pay you more, some pay you less, and they pay you based on how much you're putting in into the app.
Yeah.
So um, I think it's extremely important for anybody watching this video. When you hear anything we're saying, go and find a way to implement it. It's not the knowledge, it's not what you know, it's what you do with what you know that truly counts. All right, Chinyere, back to you.
Yeah. This network is really messing me up, seriously.
But I can
I'm
hear you, so
struggling to
over
hear.
to
I'm
you.
just catching snatches.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. So, I already explained some things, and I just wanted to get back to our core topic of real assets versus paper assets. Is there were other tips that you are prepared to share with us today?
Sorry, I didn't hear your question, ma'am.
I said that I wanted to
Please,
find
could you
out
come again? I didn't hear.
if there were other tips you wanted to share with us today. Okay. I could hear you phoning up every time that you are talking, but obviously the network is good for you to talk. It's not good for you to hear. Out.
Okay,
Very,
thank God it's
very,
stable
very.
now. I can hear you now, ma'am.
Yeah. So I
I could
was
hear everything
saying
you
that.
said now.
Mm-hmm. I was saying that what I wanted from I wanted you to that what other tips do you have in your notes for us before I continue? The network is really, really acting up on your end. Sorry. I was trying to bring you into the conversation so I don't just end up talking over you. And it just seemed like it's a major struggle um get you get you into the gist that we're gisting. Or all right, so I'm going to go back into real assets and
Coming and
the
going. It's getting worse. I
categories
don't know
of
if it's
real
because the rain
assets.
started. Before I could
Yeah, I
hear,
think
I
so.
could understand what you were saying, even if I missed some. But now I didn't get like the message of what you said.
It's fine, don't worry. I got you. And maybe Josephine will type and send to you on WhatsApp. Maybe that way you'll be able to keep track of what we're talking about. So I want us to go back to real assets. And when we talk about real assets, I know that we should talk about land and the risk and opportunities attached to land as a real asset. And because the truth is, within the context of the Nigerian real estate and investment space, land is what our parents use as their means of, protecting themselves. Their pension was real estate. That's the truth. For majority of our parents, their pension was real estate. For majority of our aunties and uncles, their pension was real estate because you can work for so many years, be entitled to pension, and you don't have anything to fall back on. But what real estate provides for many people in Nigeria is that when I get old, I don't need to, if I own my house, no matter how small, nobody is going to evict me from my house. Ideally, yes, we've had some scenarios where if you build your house on a pipeline or waterway, they can actually evict you from your house. But imagine you buy a property from from Red 360, you will not have to deal with those prices anyway. So one of the security that people have when it comes to real estate is I have somewhere to retire to. I have a house I can sleep in. Nobody is going to come and evict me. I don't need to be paying rent in my old age. Imagine somebody in a 70-year-old person or someone in their 60s or in their 80s trying to pay this current ridiculous rent that Nigerian landlords are putting on their citizens, on their tenants. It is going to be extremely difficult. Maybe you were living in a place and you've been paying that your 100,000 and little by little became a million and then it went from million to more than a million. And if you have no tangible assets you acquired as a young person. We don't talk about it enough. Many young people feel they'll be young forever. It's a lie. Can you see my hair? My hair is turning gray, and I'm a very, very young girl. Like I'm a baby girl. I'm forever gonna be a baby girl. But this baby girl is turning gray because she's over 40, and life is going to continue to life. We'll get older. And as we get older, we need to become intentional with our monies, because the income, though not meant to depreciate, our energy and ability to work as hard would diminish. So maybe when you were in your 20s, you could work very hard. As you get older, you can't work as hard as when you were in your 20s.
Mm.
So what will tend to happen is that as you are getting older, you need to be strategically putting money into real assets and paper assets that can pay you money in your old age. Because, like I said, you don't want to have to deal with landlords in your 70s and in your 80s, because dealing with landlords in that age means that you are either becoming a financial burden on your children, because they will not be the ones struggling to pay your rent. And I know many hardworking people in their 20s and 30s who cannot find their feet because they are paying rent for themselves and paying rent for their parents. So you see somebody that is still trying to gather his or her money together to invest into assets, but before they can do any assets, they need to first pay their own rent. Then they'll pay rent for their parents. Then they'll pay school fees for their younger ones. Where would they now have something to take care of themselves? And if you're not careful, it will become a transgenerational thing, where you also become a burden on your own children because you refuse to pay serious attention to your long-term plan, because you will retire, not because you have to, but because your energy level will diminish and your passion will change over time. You're not meant to be working to earn money in your 80s. In your 80s, in your 70s, in your 60s, and it can feel very far off. I'm 40, 80 means 40 years from now. Oh, do I have a long time? Yes, I feel I have a long time, but I also need to be strategic with the time I have by acquiring the assets consistently from now till then. In sharing goals, Chinyere mentioned that a friend of hers wanted to have properties in every state of Nigeria. I want to have on every continent cash generating assets. One of my big egbons, is over 50 right now. He told me that when he clocked 40, from the day he became 40, he was buying a property every year. He's over 50. What that means is, since he has over 10 properties, houses that he has acquired, because every year he set it as a goal for himself to acquire real assets so that he's not a liability. He was also telling me that he has younger children. So for him, he doesn't want to be struggling because he did not have his children early in life. He doesn't want to be struggling to pay school fees for the children and be hustling and be jumping around from pillar to post to make ends meet in his old age. So he planned for it. So my question to every one of you watching is, how are you planning for when you are in your 60s? How are you planning for when you be in your 70s? How are you planning for when you be in your 50s? Because I'm sure somewhere in your mind, you think I will have that same energy I have right now, or I had in my 20s. And I'm not saying you'll be sick. You will not be sick. That's not in our economy. We don't operate on that level. However, we need to be strategic to have assets that will give us peace of mind as we get older. Assets that will give our children peace of mind as they get older. If you don't think of your old age, you are just like an ostrich burying your head in the sand, because old age is gonna catch up on you whether you agree or not. Another way to know is, you see your children getting older, invariably you're not getting younger. If your children used to be crawling and now they are walking, they are getting as tall as you, invariably you are getting older. What that means is, ask yourself, how are you preparing so that you are not a liability to them? Chinyere, can you hear me better now? I think the network seems steadier on your end.
Yes, it's better, even though it still sounds like what you're saying now.
All right. So I was trying to bring you into the conversation earlier by asking if you had anything to contribute. So I'm throwing it open to you again.
This network doesn't want me to hear your question. It's frozen again.
Okay. So I'm going to continue with this conversation. I had spoken about real assets and paper assets as intentional things that we do sacrificially on our journey of growth. is not going to be convenient. I don't want anybody watching to think, it's going to be so easy. I'll just put this money aside and I'll be buying this asset. No, every time you choose to buy assets, you are making a sacrifice, and it's going to cost you, because there are other things you can be doing with that money. You are choosing to sacrifice to acquire the asset. So I really want to encourage everybody on this call to make the sacrifice necessary to acquire. If you're getting value, please like the video and throw in some love. I'm just seeing 2 likes on my screen. Why? Why am I seeing only 2 likes? It means only 2 people just randomly liked the video on Instagram or Facebook. No, I think this is more, the like is more from Facebook, not Instagram. So please do like and share the video. Do like and share the video. Chinyere has been experiencing major network challenge in the course of our conversation, but earlier on, she had shared a lot of valuable insight that I feel that has truly impacted on us, and I'm grateful for our session together. As I wrap up on the conversation on real asset and paper asset, I gave all of us an assignment, and my assignment to you all is for you to collate every asset that you own. Collate every asset that you own and categorize it into real or paper assets. And I also want to give you an assignment to set a goal. Set an audacious, scary goal for your finances. I want you to tell yourself, like, this big thing I'm going to achieve in the next few years, or even within the next year. It's one of the things that we do when we do our conferences at Game of Money. We launch a product that will allow people to pay in installments and be able to say, a year from now, I own a property. I really want you to be able to say, by December 2026, I own a property. And it is very, very possible for you to say, I own a property by December 2026. And we have several offers that can help you own a property by December 2026. So how do you get into those offers? Please just go ahead and talk to any of our wealth advisors. There are several numbers right there on the screen. It's written there that talk to any of our wealth advisors on the best offer that fits your growth journey. And because you are on a growth journey, you are literally on a growth journey. So we have this our wealth advisors that will be giving you some they'll be giving you an offer that can help you own a property before the end of this year, and you can pay in installments, and it is interest free. We've had a really interesting time. Is this Mr. Dele? I just saw that Mr. Dele Onosoya joined us. Oh my goodness. I don't know if he's still live with us, but like, Brother Dele, some of these my people, I've known them a long time ago. And when they knew me, I didn't have gray hair. Now I have gray hair. As you get older, please make wise investments. Spend your time wisely, spend your money wisely, invest your life wisely, invest in your relationships that counts, because everything, invest in developing yourself, invest in developing your knowledge, pay for that school, attend those free conferences, attend those free programs. They increase your profitability, they increase your ability to earn money from your from those skills that you now acquire through those platforms. So yes, Chinyere, oh my goodness, I'm missing you today. Really, really missing you, but you've shared a whole lot. So when the network made sense, we got a lot of value from you. So thank you. We're rounding off our program for today, mainly because I'm really, really thirsty. I want to drink a lot of water. And I feel like I've dropped so much value with everyone today. So I want to appreciate you for sharing with us. I want to appreciate everyone who joined us.
My battery.
Your battery set is now going. We are done. We have finished our conversation
surprise.
for today. No, but it was really,
this
really.
Network just did me 110 today.
No.
I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry to our audience.
No. I think that in the time we had, you did justice to the topic, and I completed it, and that's the beauty of us being two here. Being two means that if one the other person carries it. If I had network issues, you would have had to carry the conversation. That's the power of two achieving much more than one person. So thank you all so much. I'll be seeing you all tomorrow. If you missed any part of this program, please go back and watch. We had an interesting, enlightening conversation on real asset versus paper asset. And we have put in numbers on the screen to help you on your journey towards acquiring real assets. So please go ahead and call those numbers to make your wise moves, wise investments, wise choice. And that's all from me right here. Love you all, honor you all. Please don't forget to share the video. If you want to be a real talk, connect with us. I can't wait to see you on Friday. It will be a very, 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 very great time that we get to spend together. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye from Tiemu, and bye from Chinri. Bye from Chinri as well. Oh yeah, you might have questions. I was saying bye-bye. Josephine, are there questions? If there are questions, I can take specific questions. Sorry, if you have any question, I'll take your questions. I'll just wait like 2 minutes. Let me take your questions, then we will go. Thank you, Alfred from YouTube. Alfred Olumo. Olumo. I was watching myself on my laptop here, and I've still not gotten used to talking with braces in my mouth. Literally changes how you talk. Are fintech apps safe? Well, not all fintech apps are safe. I will not speak for all fintech apps. I can't. Depending on how much you want to invest. I know the owners of Genius by PettySave, and if you send me a DM or send me a WhatsApp message, if you are in any of our community, I can link you up with Genius by PettySave. That is for your cash-based investment. If you want to do stocks and shares, that one, the app is just helping you facilitate it. If you are doing money markets, the apps are just helping you to facilitate it. If this is your first time ever trying any of those investment apps, please don't go and jump into the one that is going to give you ridiculously. When you see high risk, just step back and ask yourself, can I really handle the high risk I'm going for? But fintech apps are regulated, so to a large extent they are safe. But like all things, banks fold up. Banks have challenges, but they rarely actually fold up like before. So you are to a large extent safe if you are using regulated SEC licensed fintech app. There are apps that are not SEC licensed though. So be aware of which app you are using. Is it SEC licensed? SEC is Security Exchange Commission. They are the ones that ensure that the owners of the fintech apps don't just disappear with your money. So they are safe if you at least use the ones we mentioned. Those ones we've been using for years. Literally, Thierry recruited all of us into RiseVest, and she had been there for years. All of us in Rep 360 that use RiseVest was because of Thierry. We became her downline, and it wasn't like she was marketing us. She just told us about it. Just the way I'm telling you. So I use Cowrywise, and I saw their adverts on a billboard in Ikoyi. That's how I saw the advert, and then my husband's niece came to my house and told me she was doing Cowrywise. I wanted to dash her money, and she said, "Oh, I should send it to her Cowrywise account." I was like, "Okay, I'm downloading my Cowrywise right now," because I'm always a believer in learning immediately from people. So please do not just listen to us, learn. Thank you so much for your comments. If we have no other question, so that we can wrap it up for tonight. I was wrapping up already, Chinyere, until I now noticed that we had some, I felt we should give room for some questions to come in. So I'm waiting for those questions to come in. Once we see if we have any more questions, if we have no other question, I have already concluded for tonight. Meanwhile,
Wow.
Chinyere, I used to do my natural hair. I did my hair myself. Like I packed my hair myself.
Wow.
Yes, I did. I'm
It
feeling
looks like
myself. I used to
kinky.
really
It's so
It's all my hair,
beautiful.
no attachments, nothing. I've not done this in a very long time, but I've been having really tender scalp. So I did not want to do I didn't want to have to go to the salon to then pull my hair again. So I this morning I just packed it in TVC and I realized that it looks good. Even though when I turned my back, it wasn't looking so good at the back, but it was sure looking good in front.
It looks
And that's worked out.
actually. It looks like
Yeah, it looks like
beautiful.
it because my hair is natural, so it's like all very kinkish,
After
you know.
it's
Do we if we have
nice.
no other question, we'll continue our gist on our own later. Let Chiere go and take care of our soldiers of the Lord and the governors of the future, ministers and presidents of the future. She has two amazing boys who are currently at the age where they require mommy's attention a whole lot. So, Chinwe, thank you for your time.
Thank you
Would
so much.
you want to
But
say
I
something?
wanted to yes, please,
Okay.
because I did not mention it. I feel it's really important because when you asked me about my ratio for really real asset and paper, I only mentioned right. I didn't mention that I have tangible land because last year I was able to start my dream. I wanted to have a land, but I had not been able to realize it until last year. And thanks to TMO and Rep 360 last year, now I have land, like not one, I have two. I have land in Ogun State, two estates in Ogun State, and because of that, I also bought land in Abuja because I live in Abuja. And for me, that is a dream come true because it made me realize that it's possible. So start from where you are, and before you know it, you'll be able to buy tangible assets. And I have my own goals. Like you, I want to own land outside Nigeria. So this is really helping me. And again, this real estate is also long term for me because initially, thank God for you and Ref 360. We all buy a house, build a house, but I realized I'm in my 30s now. I don't want to spend my money building a house or buying a house and be paying in installment. We don't even have the whole structured mortgage system in Nigeria. And even at that, with my research, I've realized that the cost of buying a house now is a lot compared to our annual income, even if you're earning, let me even say 15 million per year. So with these tangible assets I'm building up now, over the years, I can easily buy a land in my 40s, in my 50s. And again, I'm at the age that mobility is important to me. I don't want to build a house and then maybe in 2 years' time, I'm moving out. Yes, it could become like a rental that will generate income for me, but I want that to be an informed decision, not because people are landlords. No, it's an asset for me, it's growing my wealth, and I would still buy more land because it's I want to be wealthy and leave transgenerational wealth for my children and children's children. I thought to mention that. Thank you so much, Ram.
Thank you so much for mentioning. Actually, it's really important to mention because a lot of times people assume Blessing is in her 20s and she has multiple real estate. You are in your 30s, you have multiple land assets. Sandra is in her 30s. Everybody around me owns real estate, yeah. And you cannot be watching and not own real estate. It does not make sense. If you are in this community, you must be wealthy. There is no option for you. You follow me, you are going to make money. You follow me, your life will change positively because what else are we doing if we're not impacting one another? I'm not a comedian, so why are you following me if I'm not going to ginger you into growth? If I'm not going to ginger you into believing in yourself and actualizing dreams that you did not even dare to dream before, but now you're seeing them your reality. So thank you, Chinyere, for sharing your story because it's inspiring others to see the possibility of them creating that kind of future for themselves. And thank you all for spending time with us, every one of you that joined us so far. If you missed any part, watch again from the beginning. I can't wait to see any realtor interested in connecting with our brand and the amazing work we're doing at Red 360. That should be on Friday, 3 p.m. We're going to be not 3 p.m. Sorry, get the time from Antonia. I don't know I don't want to say the wrong time. We will have a phenomenal time on Friday. It will be a phenomenal time. I cannot wait to connect with every one of you. And if you want to buy real estate, the numbers are right there on the screen. Trust Rep 360 to have your back. Enjoy a beautiful evening.
Bye.